I'm worried. It's going to take a toll on our people.
We all love you to the moon and back, and we will never stop looking for you.
There's a little girl missing. And if it was mine, I'd want the world to be looking for her.
To sustain our hope for Jamie's safe return.
For 88 days, you called in tips.
2 hours later that she was found, I just cannot believe this.
It's amazing the will of that 13-year-old girl to survive and escape.
Today we can finally say Jamie Kloss is home.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It is the best case scenario for a devastating story that has captured the state of Wisconsin and the entire country.
After vanishing nearly 3 months ago, 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is back home tonight. Their family shared a photo tonight showing Jamie as she's reunited with her Aunt Jennifer, as well as her dog, Molly. All day, we've been bringing you team coverage. Amanda Quintana and Adam Duxter continue it for us tonight.
Let's start with Amanda Quintana joining us live in studio. Amanda?
Yes, we're learning more about the investigation and some of the pieces being put together, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions about why Jamie was a target and how she got the strength to get away.
She's talking, and she communicated with our team up there, and she was released from the hospital. Jamie is the hero in this case. There's no question about it.
13-year-old Jamie Kloss now reunited with her aunt and the rest of her family. This man, 21-year-old Jake Patterson, arrested for her kidnapping and the murder of her parents. But the investigation into what happened to her and why is far from over.
At this time, nothing in this case shows the suspect knew anyone at the Kloss home or at any time had contact with anyone in the Kloss family. The suspect had specific intentions to kidnap Jamie and went to great lengths to prepare to take her.
Patterson even went so far as to shave his head so he wouldn't leave behind DNA when he kidnapped her. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald says multiple guns were found in the Gordon home where Jamie escaped from Patterson on Thursday. One shotgun similar to the one used at the Kloss home back in October to kill Jamie's parents, James and Denise.
I know all of you are searching for the answer of why any of this happened. Believe me, so are we.
We don't know how Jamie was being restrained, what condition the rural home was in, or where Patterson went that gave her the opportunity to escape. But he was not home when Jamie managed to get away.
Well, I don't know how she escaped at this time. We believe that the suspect was out looking for her when law enforcement made contact with him.
The only connection between Patterson and the Kloss family being made right now is more than 3 years old. Patterson worked at the Jenny O plant where James and Denise worked for less than 2 days. Still, authorities don't believe they knew each other.
We don't have any information that he had made any contact with anyone in the family at any time.
Law enforcement has been trying to give Jamie some space, but they will need to interview her and get more information to present in court when Patterson has his first appearance on Monday at 3:30.
Amanda Quintana in studio tonight. Amanda, thank you. Looking at the timeline of events in this case, Jamie disappeared and her parents were murdered on October 15th. A week later, thousands of volunteers helped search for her through the fields and woods surrounding her home. On October 24th, the FBI offered a $50,000 reward for information into her disappearance. In November, Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald urged hunters to be on the lookout for clues for Jamie. On December 12th, the Barron community designated and lit a decorated tree of hope for Jamie as a way to pay tribute and hope for a safe return home. Then, on January 10th, yesterday, she was found.
Where she was found, also a surprise of sorts to investigators. Gordon, Wisconsin is a small town in Douglas County. That's about an hour from where the Kloss family lived in Barron. And as you can imagine, this has been a very emotional time for Jamie's extended family. She was released from the hospital this afternoon and then questioned briefly by police. She has since been reunited with her aunt and was expected to meet up with the rest of her family tonight.
Disbelief, excited, I cried instantly. I fell to the bench that was sitting there when they told me. I got up and I hugged the chief deputy. I mean, the smile on his face was like, I knew it was good news. And I cried.
Jamie's family says they never gave up hope and always believed she was safe somewhere. They also want to thank the public for all the support and prayers they've received over the last few months. And tonight we're learning more about the woman who initially found Jamie while walking her dog.
Jeannie Nutter is an academic advisor and part-time employee of the Masters of Social Work at UW-Eau Claire. News 3's Adam Duxter spoke with one of her colleagues today and joins us with how her background in social work helped her respond. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, the woman who found Jamie Kloss knew what to do when she saw her, and it turns out it was something her background in social work and child protection has been training her for decades.
Today, Jamie Kloss is home, reunited with family after going missing following the murder of her parents almost 3 months ago. We're now learning more about her captor, the moments of her escape and discovery. It turns out the woman who first saw Kloss knew what to do because of her job.
She just said, I'm lost and I don't know where I am and I need help.
Did she say who she was?
Yeah, when she got near me and I could see who she was, she told me, I'm Jamie.
Jeannie Nutter has a background in social work and child protective services. In an anxious moment, she stayed calm.
I didn't grab her and run off through the woods, which would have been maybe an instinct, but no, I just held on to her and I said, we're going to find somebody who's home, we're going to call the police, you're going to be okay.
At UW-Madison, her colleague Ellen Smith says it was the social work training that paid off.
Child protective social workers deal with children who've experienced trauma every day.
And that social workers are taught to keep a level head even in the most tense moments.
They're trained to remain calm when kids are asking for help or when children are telling you things that have gone on that have been, sometimes really horrible.
Ellen says in situations like this, social workers act like first responders, which ultimately might have led to Jamie Kloss getting home safe.
And that's part of what drives me to keep doing the work that I do, is I really care about how kids are kept safe in our communities, how kids are kept safe in their families.
Smith told me that the quick thinking her colleague Jeannie Nutter showed in that moment is something anyone can learn to do, but without question says her knowledge on how to handle that situation played a role in getting Jamie Kloss to safety.
Adam Duxter reporting tonight. Adam, thank you.
We are also hearing from the people who actually called police. Jeannie, who was walking her dog, brought Jamie to a nearby house where they called 911.
When the door opened up and her dog came through and Jeannie walked in and said, this is Jamie Kloss and call 911, I was in absolute shock. I mean, to see her in front of me in my kitchen as I'm cleaning fish from a fishing trip, she's in my kitchen. And it was kind of like a dream. It still kind of is.
Peter and Kristen Kaczynska say they knew right away it was Jamie. They say she was able to give them a description of the suspect and the vehicle he was driving, and they were able to forward that to police.
Administrators with the Barron Area School District were emotional as they talked about her safe return. The district held many events like this balloon release as a way to honor Jamie while police searched for her. Administrators say the school safety team within the Department of Justice plans to help faculty and students in the weeks to come. The team will provide the district with on-site support through school psychologists, therapy dogs, and resource officers. Signs are popping up all over the Barron community welcoming Jamie home. Here's one outside the city's Dairy Queen. There's another one outside the Barron Baptist Church. Again, Jamie Kloss is reuniting with her family tonight, 88 days after she went missing. Governor Tony Evers posted about the Kloss case on Twitter today, saying it was a collaborative effort that helped bring Jamie home and offered support to the teen and her family.
Months after dedicating a song to then missing Jamie Kloss, the star of The Voice, Chris Cruzy, shared his reaction to last night's news in a Facebook post this afternoon. He wrote, quote, "Our family and community could not be more excited and thankful she couldn't be coming home to a more supportive community." And Elizabeth Smart also commenting on Jamie's return. She says it is a miracle the 13-year-old was found safe. You'll recall Smart, just 14 when she was abducted from her home in Salt Lake City back in 2002. She was rescued 9 months later. And we want to mention tomorrow CBS will be airing a special 48 hours on the Jamie Kloss case. You can watch that right here on Channel 3 at 9 o'clock. And News 3 will have continuing local team coverage. We'll follow the trial, update you with any new developments on air and online at channel3000.com.
Let's get a look at our forecast now. Here's meteorologist Dave Caulfield on the backyard patio. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Charlotte. A few snow showers and a couple of flurries are possible as we head into Saturday, but it could be a lot worse. Very heavy snow falling in the St. Louis area right now. Already some reports southwest of St. Louis of 8 inches of snow, and this storm is not even halfway done. So a lot more impressive snow totals could be on the way for portions of Illinois, Missouri, into southern Iowa, but that snow generally staying south of the I-80 corridor at the present time. It will start to slowly move north throughout the day tomorrow and could impact us again with a few flurries or snow showers, but that's about it for southern Wisconsin. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, looking at mostly cloudy skies, 28 degrees. That's where temperatures are going to hang out tonight. South-southeast wind at 8 miles per hour, making it feel a little bit closer to 20 degrees in Madison. 30 right now in Mineral Point, 31 in Bosqueville, and 29 in Platteville. Wind speeds are about 5 to 10 miles per hour, so it's making it feel about 5 to 10 degrees colder than the thermometer may suggest on our wind chill map. Day planner for tomorrow, highs will be in the mid-30s. Again, a few snowflakes can't be rolled out, but the majority of southern Wisconsin, I think, stays dry from this system. We'll talk about some slightly better chances for snow on the way for next week in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. A 43-year-old man from the Milwaukee suburb of Franklin has been arrested for murder in connection with an investigation in Walworth County. Police discovered the remains of 2 people in a burn pit on a farm near East Troy last night. The suspect was leasing the property. His name has not been released, although the Walworth sheriff says he is a business owner. They're also trying to identify the 2 people found dead.
The man accused of driving at speeds of over 100 miles per hour last April on Midvale Boulevard, killing a man, sentenced today to 7 years in prison. 20-year-old Benjamin Cortez sentenced in Dane County Court. He pleaded guilty to second-degree reckless homicide and first offense operating while intoxicated. Cortez lost control of his vehicle on Midvale at a high rate of speed, killing Greg Namitz and severely injuring his wife Patty as they walked their dog. Today in court, Cortez apologized to the family.
I hope you can one day forgive me and understand that I honestly never meant to hurt you or your loved ones. Go slow. I now know how my actions can affect people in ways that I could never imagine.
The only option I can suggest is that you protect the public as thoroughly as the law allows.
Now, Patty has spent months recovering from her very severe injuries. Cortez was also sentenced to 5 years extended supervision. And still ahead tonight at 10, 6 more stores in Wisconsin. Shopko announcing another round of closures.
And it is day 21 of the government shutdown, and hundreds of thousands of federal workers have now missed a paycheck. An update on the border wall negotiations when we come back.
Shopko is closing 6 more stores across the state. Last year, the Wisconsin-based retailer announced it was closing 39 stores in 19 states by the end of February. Added to that list, stores in Appleton, Grafton, La Crosse, Menasha, Seymour, and Sussex. The chain operates about 360 stores in 24 states and intends to seek bankruptcy protection from creditors next week. The partial government shutdown is now 3 weeks old, and Saturday it will become the longest in U.S. history.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers aren't getting paychecks today, and neither congressional Democrats nor the president appear ready to make a deal. Nicole Killian reports.
It's not an ancient crime.
President Trump is urging lawmakers to fund a wall on the U.S. southern border now.
We have a country that's being invaded by criminals and by drugs, and we're going to stop it. So I want the Democrats to come back to Washington and vote.
Funding that wall remains the sticking point that's keeping the government closed.
800,000 federal employees and all American citizens are held hostage. When do we come together and say enough?
We need to push pause on requesting specific conditions before talks resume. We need to lay down our swords.
President Trump has threatened to declare a national emergency on the border in order to get the money to build the wall, but says Congress should do its job.
And I don't want to give an easy way out of something as simple as this. The bill is passed.
On Friday afternoon, the House joined the Senate in voting to ensure federal employees receive back pay once the shutdown ends.
Now it's sort of like a slap in the face.
But workers who aren't getting paid now say they're dealing with a roller coaster of emotions.
We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know, when we're going to get our next paycheck and how we're going to be able to pay our bills.
About half of federal workers who aren't getting paychecks, like those who guard the border and TSA employees, remain on the job. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
The union that represents air traffic controllers filed a lawsuit today suing the Trump administration for withholding their employees' pay.
Time now for a look at your weekend forecast. And for that, we turn to meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Dave?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, another near miss as far as snow goes for southern Wisconsin. Check this out. Just to our south, we have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories for much of our neighbors just to the south, including cities like Indianapolis, Springfield, into St. Louis, back towards Kansas City, and close to Dodge City, Kansas as well. But in the St. Louis area, already some reports coming in, especially southwest of the city, of 8+ inches of snow and sleet, and this storm isn't halfway done yet. So we could be talking about snow totals in the feet in some spots of Missouri and Illinois. The trouble for snow lovers across southern Wisconsin is high pressure to our north is suppressing that snow and keeping it from getting close to southern Wisconsin. So I really think there's going to be a sharp cutoff pretty close to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And that's not the best news. I mean, we don't want all the snow at once like we did last year in April, but we could use a little bit more snow. We're about a foot behind schedule this winter, about 10 inches of snow, but we should be closer to 22 inches of snow. But we've seen, like last year, that we can make up that snow in a short amount of time because we're about at 5 inches last year. So there is some precedent for getting that snow a little bit later in the season. However, if we could get it when we're supposed to in January and February, I think that would be desirable for most people. But there is some good news if you're a fan of the snow later on this month. Temperatures stay pretty mild over the next 5 days or so, then a little bit closer to normal by next Wednesday. And then you can see those temperatures dip toward next weekend. And by the time we get to about the 20th or 21st, temperatures set up nicely for possibly some snow development, and our 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook showing by the end of the month, the middle to end of this month, we could be dealing with some above normal precipitation, or at least chances are looking a little bit better for some above normal precipitation. So we'll keep an eye on that. No guarantees, but it does look a little bit more winter-like by the end of January. Temperatures right now are fairly winter-like, although a little bit mild for the nighttime hours. 28 in Madison, 30 in Janesville, 28 in Watertown, and 29 in Lone Rock. With the wind chill, it does feel a little bit more like 20 in Madison, 24 in Lone Rock. Still feeling, though, like 31 in Boscobel. So here's our low-pressure system staying to the south. We notice that high-pressure system is a strong one in Canada, and that's acting kind of like a shield with that snow and keeping it just far enough to the south where all I think that southern Wisconsin is going to see tomorrow, maybe a few flurries, a snow shower here or there. Along the border, closer to Beloit, maybe even Janesville, some spots like Dubuque, Iowa. It's not out of the question that we see possibly about a coating to a half an inch of snow, but that's really looking like the maximum. I think this high pressure system is going to keep us pretty dry, and our snow potential map is showing that as well, but pretty sharp cutoffs just as you get farther, far enough south where you get away from the state line a little bit. So let's take a look at your 7 to 10 day forecast. We can see those temperatures are a little bit milder as we head into Tuesday, close to 40 degrees with partly sunny skies. Our next chance, a slightly better chance of seeing some snow arise by the time we start next weekend, but not too many chances to come by, at least in the short term, for snow. That may change a little as we get later into this month.
All right, Dave, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Number 1 ranked Badger women's hockey team. It's a big surprise at Ohio State tonight. The story coming up in sports.
Starting a Badger basketball game at 8 o'clock is a bit more palatable when it's on a Friday night, but it's still a late night for the Purdue-Wisconsin men's basketball game at the Kohl Center. What a game, and it's still going, so it's really going to be a late night. Demetric Trice hit 2 threes in the final minute to force overtime. Ethan Happ has 31 points and 13 rebounds. They play on at the Kohl Center. Next up for the Badgers, a trip to Maryland. They'll play the Terrapins Monday night at 7:30 Madison time in Maryland. And the Badgers need to be careful because at Maryland tonight, the Terps upset 22nd ranked Indiana. Bruno Fernando led Maryland with 25 points, 13 rebounds. He made 11 of 12 from the field. Maryland's now 5-1 in the Big Ten, 14-3 overall. Could be ranked when the Badgers get to town Monday. Tonight's final, Maryland 78, Indiana 75. Badgers offensive coordinator Joe Rudolph won't be the next head coach at Temple. Northern Illinois' Rod Carey gets the Temple job, so Rudolph will stay in Madison for now. Rudolph had interviewed for that head coaching position earlier in the week. The top-ranked Badger women's hockey team plays at 7th-ranked Ohio State tonight. It's the Buckeyes getting the jump in the first period on the power play. Jinsey Dunn snaps one past Kristen Campbell. 1-0 Ohio State. That's the score in the final seconds of regulation. The Badgers pulled the goalie. They put the pressure on net, but they can't get the equalizer. And down goes number 1. Final score, Ohio State 1, Wisconsin 0. The Bucks road trip takes them to Washington tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo sits out with a sore hip. It's your classic trap game. The Wizards hit 18 three-point shots, including 6 by Trevor Ariza. Bradley Beal leads with 32. Some guy named Tomas Satoransky had a triple-double for D.C. Final score is Wizards 113, Bucks 106. The Packers confirmed what had been widely reported this week. Defensive coordinator Mike Pettin will, in fact, return as defensive coordinator under new head coach Matt LaFleur. Not everyone's staying in Green Bay, though, as passing coordinator Joe Witt, who had a long association with Mike McCarthy, was fired tonight. The NFL playoffs resume tomorrow. The divisional games, Colts at Chiefs, followed by Cowboys at Rams. The Sunday lineup has the Chargers at Patriots and Eagles at Saints. That Chargers-Patriots game will be live here on Channel 3 just after noon on Sunday. Now, that game will feature a couple of the greatest running backs in Wisconsin Badger football history. Melvin Gordon for the Chargers, James White for the Patriots. They were close when they were in Madison. They're still close, even though they'll be on different sides of the field Sunday.
Like my big brother, man, mentor. He's been there for me, through some hard times, especially through college, and he's looked out for me. And, I actually, stayed with him the whole offseason this year, in Fort Lauderdale. We have a great relationship, man. He's been like a mentor to me since I've been, in college, and, definitely my big brother.
And our next Prep Mania game of the week is Thursday. It's a pretty good boys hockey non-conference game at Edgewood, visiting Sun Prairie. Bill Brophy joins me for the game next Thursday, 7:15, live on channel3000.com, and we'll be right back.
Dave's here with a final look at your forecast.
Yeah, just south of us, a major snow event happening, and we can see that right now on Doppler track. But the good news, if we don't want to deal with that snow, is we won't have to across southern Wisconsin, because high pressure keeps that system just to the south, where if we do see anything across southern Wisconsin, it would be very close to the state line and in the order of a coating to a half an inch. The rest of us, just a few flurries and snow showers tomorrow, otherwise mostly cloudy with temperatures in the mid-30s. We're in the upper 30s, close to 40 on Tuesday. Could have some snowflakes by next Friday.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us.
Do something good and have a great weekend.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.